Epstein of Linn Associates with your morning flash update for this Wednesday. And we are now at the 10th of March, 2021, 8:25 a.m. Central Time. So what you got to be watching this week, you've got the 10 and the 30-year auctions coming up in U.S. bonds and notes, and I'd be watching that closely. We're not seeing yet signs of inflation. You'll see in the CPI in a moment that, and that's what kicked up the stock market. As soon as those numbers came, because you were up in the Dow, floundering in these others, and they got a big boost as now the market is saying, okay, even with interest rates going up, we're holding back that inflation. How high do you have to take these rates? That became a question mark for the market. As the dollar's fallen, even with that inflation number, that's not a friend to the gold market. Silver markets versus gold still losing a little bit. Copper trying to gain its footing back. As I step to the grains, a lot of pressure on the grain market. Now, as bullish as the stocks and so on are, and we're going to get more reports this week on supply demand, you got to keep in the back of your mind that we are getting ready for the planting season. It seems so crazy because we were just freezing in Texas. The snow in Chicago literally just got off the ground yesterday. It's warm enough now. We might be near 70 today, and then we'll fall back again. But the point is we're getting up to that warm weather. And as that happens in different parts of the Americas, what we get is now getting ready for our planting season. And of course, we're going to see just how the South American crops went. As you can see, bonds and notes holding steady. Bitcoin went up. We were looking for, at least on my work, the upper Bollinger Band to be hit in the contracts, and that is starting to take place. Energy still has its footing. The market is waiting on the EIA report in a few minutes. If you take a look at the MBA mortgage market, you would expect an uneasy market with higher rates, and you're getting that. You can see down 1.3% on the index, the purchase index up 7%, but the refi fell away. The CPI numbers, this is what I was looking at, and the headline number up 0.4, right what expected, and that was, they expected it up 1/10 from last month. The core CPI, when you look at it month over month, expected up 1/10, it got that. CPI energy prices up 3.9%. We know energy's been creeping, so that's not a surprise to everybody, and that's only 0.4 higher than the prior month. Then I go to the conference board, the help wanted index at 9 o'clock. This morning, another thing that'll be boosting stocks early on is the COVID relief bill. That'll be debated this morning in the House, but that's just for publicity. This thing's done. It's going to the president's desk. There'll be a big signing ceremony likely tomorrow. China's National Bureau of Statistics, they reported CPI down 0.2% on the year versus an expected down 0.4. They're not getting the inflation. CPI in the month up 0.6, and the January through February CPI, this is where I say they're not getting it, down 0.3% on the year so far. So inflation is still somewhat elusive. We know commodity inflation had been there. You see that in the oil prices, but it's everything else. Service industry, it really makes up a lot of inflation. It's a giant waiting to come alive, and it's gradually happening now. As I went out to dinner last night, the restaurants are half full, things are changing. You can just see it outside here in the city, and that's going to happen everywhere as you go because the spring weather is coming, and with that, outdoor, more service things, people painting homes. I can go on and on what it's all going to do, but that's what I'm looking for. Now, I want to remind you about a couple of things. You know, one of the big things that is happening is the volume surges on these micro stock indices. As you get up to the levels that we're at in stock indices, you get ranges in the markets that are thousands of dollars. Why not leg in and trade with 1/10 the size contract? Yeah, the commissions on it, we make it dirt cheap, $1 a side. If you can't beat $1 a side in a futures commission merchant, come on, what are you bothering for? But it's risk that this is about. So instead of $50 a full point in the S&P, it's $5. So let's assume you want to come in with 3 contracts on the minis versus buying one full-size one. Maybe you want to build a position, ways to do it through there. Margins 1/10 of what they are the other way. And this is for all the stock indices. And folks, I watch it during the day. They trade almost tick for tick. Basically, it is tick for tick with the big contracts. How do you get started? My advice is go to our website, but different. When you put in www.iraepstein.com, put a / and the word micro. It explains everything for you right there. My staff can get you set up. Just give us a call. Inexpensive, minimum size accounts, and away you go. I'm Ira Epstein. You have a great day. I'll see you this afternoon with our market wrap-up.